Today we're going to analyze Alter Ego Rinny's Hanzo in MPL Indonesia, taking on RRQ, currently #1 seeding in MPL Indonesia. I gotta say, I've watched probably 4 Hanzo games right now, and then I can confidently say that among the few players I've watched, right, we're talking about Kyrie, I've seen it. We're talking about from Onyx, right? I also watched BTR, and I gotta say, Rinny is probably so far from Alter Ego the best Hanzo user in MPL Indonesia, at least from the limited games I've seen, right? There are not too many games that we can use because Hanzo only showed up 6 times among all the games, and which just tell you that there's something that we need to adjust about the meta. All right, let's take a look at a draft right off the bat, right? Starting off the game, you can see that I can tell you a few things in summary, in general, that will make Hanzo work really well after all the games I've watched. Number 1 is you gotta have a really strong map presence in terms of mid lane, your side lanes, right? If you have Granger, for example, Valentina, some of the stronger lane heroes that can hold off on their own, then Hanzo would work. Hanzo will make the comp even stronger. But when you don't have that, it makes the game a lot harder. So let's take a look at a game of, the game that Hanzo actually won. And I will show you how Hanzo won, right? I played about Alter Ego Rinny. So let's quickly finish the draft right here. You can see that every single lane, it seems like, every single lane, it seems like Team Alter Ego is really strong. And Hanzo just happened to be there. And let's check out Hanzo's build. I can tell you that I'm looking at all the builds that the Hanzo player used. They like to build corrosion size first. It's a decent item, but it's a huge, I wouldn't say a mistake, but it's a huge miscalculation, quote unquote mistake, for not building Golden Staff first. It's such a strong item on Hanzo. It's a core item on Hanzo. And you will notice, like, I will start analyzing later on Kyrie's game, for example, on a Kyrie, some other games you will see from Hanzo. And you'll notice a huge difference. If they would have built Golden Staff as the first item, the huge difference it would make for them. And if they don't build it, how much trouble it would cause them, right? Because in competitives, they really don't have a lot of, I would say, time to do a lot of damage. But if you don't build Golden Staff, it's just gonna, make your game that much harder. Starting off, I will also notice a lot of Hanzo players in competitive, they do not contest the river Pokemon because they just go for standard passive farming route and go clear entire jungle, go blue, red, blue, whatever, and go to the lane that I want to go. And then usually they go to the clash lane, right? aka EXP lane, which is quite interesting. This also guarantees a level 4 because the center Pokemon, the river Pokemon, Lethal Wonder, quote unquote, is not always needed. Let me put it like that, right? Especially for Hanzo. And I think in rank, you can do it with my clear rotation path because there are usually not that much contest over it. But when you play competitive or higher level rank, you will notice that there are a lot of contention over the Lethal Wonder, over the river Pokemon. And Hanzo is not very strong pre-level 4, right? So there's a very good reason why Hanzo would give that up and just go for early level 4 here. Let's see if you can steal it. Oh! And by the way, this is something that you notice Hanzo player do frequently, because they usually have a decent amount of entry to Lore Pit and Turtle Pit because they can just ignore terrain and they can just travel. And notice even that the Hanzo, they lose a bunch of kills early game, right? RRQ already got 3 kills because of the rotational mistakes that happened from Alter Ego. Or I would just say better execution, better invade, better engage, better trade come from RRQ. Hanzo's level 6 right now, and Hanzo just reached level 5. He was level 4 at Turtle, right? After Turtle, he was level 4. And Rinny is getting close to level 7. And you will notice that even though their game is, I was saying, a huge deficit the entire game, but Hanzo is not behind, right? Like, he's always farming. And that's something with Hanzo, right? It's a character that can snowball fairly fast on his own, right? I noticed some of the caster was saying Hanzo late game character. It really isn't, right? Hanzo is a snowball character. If you get ahead, it's insanely strong, right? It doesn't need late game item. It needs Golden Staff, and it's instantly good. So building corrosion size first item, I think it's just a big misgap. I would say miscalculation, right? So let's take a look here. Ooh, good rotation from iDoc. getting Hanzo into the bush here, and Hanzo most likely will die. Oh, no. Thanks to the fact that he does have ultimate and there's no one-shot coming out from Hanzo. And that's another kill for Hanzo. So again, 2 kills so far, going to the entire side of Alter Ego, and 2 of them 100% on Hanzo, right? This character can farm without, even with Hilda invading, you can see this character can farm fairly easily, right? Because it can take buff away with a skill 2 and skill 1. You don't even have to hit it anymore. Not like the old Hanzo where you had to hit it. So let's see here. Yeah, that's gonna be a kill on easily on Hanzo. So the trade for jungler. But again, Hanzo is always ahead. He's level 8 compared to level 7 Hanzo right now. And this comes to the second tip with the previous invade onto Hanzo's blue buff. As long as you have your ultimate, you're fairly safe. Let's just put it that way. So you always want to keep your ultimate when a clash is happening. Let's take a look here how you want to poke with the ultimate. Okay, use auto attack, not rushing the skill 1. Really good from Hanzo right there. By the way, I noticed a lot of Hanzo players, including Kyrie, okay, they will start off with skill 2. And that's clearly because they didn't watch the best Hanzo player's video. And then that's a huge mistake. And you will notice Rini is fairly patient compared to the rest of the Hanzo users in MPL. Is they're not rushing the he's not rushing the skill 2. Right, you see, like he's not using skill 2 right now, and he sees opportunity to gap close. That's when he commits a skill and to finish up with the rest of the passive stacks on the skill 1. Now, notice this: if he had golden staff at this point, this would be a lot easier to trigger the skill 1. And the thing is, you could have chased someone like Aurora, right, instead of a Hilda all the time, which is going to be easier to kill. If you would have golden staff. There's no damage difference in terms of, okay, which item do I build first? If I build freaking, corona size, do I have more damage? No, you don't. You actually just don't. Like Hanzo's shadow is extremely weak. And you will notice in all the MPL games, when Hanzo is behind and when enemy team, when the other side is coordinated, as coordinated as it can be now in Mobile Legends, to MPL level, they will instantly one-shot your shadow. Like that, it's gone. You don't have time to to do your auto attack. Corona size is literally useless. If you snowball, golden staff is even better for you to snowball because it just takes less time, less trigger for you to proc your most important damage skill, which is your skill 1, right? So it's a huge, I think it's a huge miscalculation for a lot of the Hanzo player to go corona size first item. But here's the thing about competitive. Competitive is really different from regular rank, right? Like I might be better at Hanzo, I might be more knowledgeable because I've tested this character so many times. But in actual scrim, like in any competitive games, in actual scrims or whatnot, players don't get time to test Hanzo 1,000 games because they also have to test a bunch of other stuff. Like when they're not playing, they're tired, right? So they have to rest and all that. It's just really difficult. For them to test Hanzo all the time. So this is not any particular player's fault. And then same as like Hanzo competitive, another thing about competitive region testing like new meta or new heroes is difficult, right? Because usually this thing has to be tested in rank unless the character is broken. When Jushin comes out, that's just broken and you have to use it. You have no choice. But if a character is not broken, it's like it can be used, it's situational, it's also pretty fun to use. Like Hanzo, it takes a lot of time to be adopted and use it properly in competitive. So in this game, again, I just want to address the thing about a Hanzo. You will notice the difference between like a good Hanzo and then like just a Hanzo that actually maximizes effect compared to other games where Hanzo is like, why is this Hanzo so shit? Even when Kyrie is using it, because the comp. You notice in this game, Hanzo draft and the Alder game I mentioned in the beginning of the game, Alder lane is extremely strong. You got, well, even though, the Clash lane, XP lane didn't get that many kills, but you got some strongest characters available in the game. Valentina is literally, no one would dispute Valentina is one of the strongest characters, especially against assassin jungles as a mid lane. So they have mid lane prio, they have the marksman lane prio, right? They have the farm lane prio from the Granger, and they have the Clash lane prio from Lucas. And Hanzo just there to, so his farm is completely protected most of the time. Let's take a look at Hanzo's rotation because you see how hard it is, how dangerous this is to invade the blue buff, right? He had to hit the buff freaking 5 times because he doesn't have skill 2. If you had a golden staff here, which is really fast, by the way, because when you trigger the second auto attack, the third auto attack is automatically triggered with the passive of Golden Staff. So it's instantly trigger your passive. And also I have to mention there's a high-lows roam from Alter Ego, which just adds so much frontline presence. And this allows Alter Ego to know exactly where enemy team is, constantly zone them out. If they're not zoned out, there's a point blank stun, and which set up for Hanzo, set up for a kill. So right now, so far, Hanzo is already 4, 1, and 2. Wow. I mean, level 14 compared to level 13 Hazel. Hazel has done a good job to catch up on farm, but like he's literally like one half level away from Rini right now. And that's scary, right? I mean, like Hanzo at this point, completely snowballed, probably fully built, I believe. I don't know how much farm he has, actually. I can't see the items. We're not in production, but let's take a look forward, how they push the Lord here. Entire team come to the top side. Hanzo is going to use ult. Yes, he is. Which target is going for? He's going directly to Hilda. It looks like it's a poking attempt, right? And that's another thing that going against Hanzo is a mistake. You can see the Hilda trying to chase. Even with invisibility, he can't get him because Hanzo has so much mobility. On top of the fact that with the trail leaving behind with such a huge slow, this is just free kills for Hanzo. So 5-1 and 2 now. Good push from Hanzo's side, and they waste a lot of resources, by the way. Kufa used everything, Hilda used everything just to kill Hanzo's Shadow. And I want to talk about in competitive how they counter Hanzo, right? A lot of times they would just instantly one-shot the Shadow if they have an opportunity to. Another times you will notice some good players, they will wait until your energy almost ran out. That's when they capture your Shadow with either a quad control skill like Kalia's ultimate or Chao's ultimate, whatever, right? And when being quad controlled in that state, you cannot call your Shadow back, and your body will transport to the Shadow and you're dead. And this happened actually one time when I was watching Kyrie's Hanzo. He was just completely captured. His Shadow was captured at least. And then, he had no choice but just see the body slowly, just see his soul slowly leaving his body as his character body slowly moving towards the Shadow. So it's kind of funny how that worked. But it's really hard to time that. And obviously not a lot of players know that. Because while you're trying to time that, a good Hanzo player is going to find the entry path directly into your backline, either going to be the squishy assassins like Joy, or like Aura, or Irithel. And by the way, Hanzo is so good against Joy. Because Joy doesn't have any dodge skills. It's not like Gushin or I would say Julian, or there are some Lancelot. It's not like those assassins with a lot of abilities, or even Benedetta as Clash lane, EXP lane, right? That can dodge a lot of skills. Joy has no ability to dash anything. So if he got hit by, especially late game skill 2 with with Hanzo's skill 2 after he had Golden Staff, that's gonna be a lot of damage, or you're just dead, right? Because he can auto attack. Once you started doing ding 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 ding, once Joy started going to the ultimate mode, that's when Hanzo uses the skill 1, the Shadow Reaper, and you're dead. So Shadow Snap, Soul Snap, whatever it's called, doesn't matter. I call it Kamui Yoiki Tenkai. Let's take a look at the team fight right here. Hilda tried to zone. Meanwhile, the team fight is happening. So far, RQ has done a decent job, but Joy died first. Let's see, waiting for skill 2, and then skill 1 to the backline. You see how careful and how methodical, how patient Rini is with the skill 2, right? And again, that just says so much. That's such a huge difference compared to the rest of the Hanzo users start seeing on MPL. So let's take a look. So Hanzo cleared the wave because late game you split push. And after that, Joy used everything, come here, 2 auto attack. Still not using skill 2 yet. He noticed he got a position onto Irithel. That's when he skill 2 to gap close. And then if it touch, it touch. If it doesn't touch, still gap close. A lot of times you don't need a skill 2 to do damage, right? Especially at this late stage of the game, you just one-shot people. If you can auto attack them twice, once or twice or 3 times, then they're for sure dead. So really patient with the skill 2. That's the tip we're constantly mentioning. If Rini obviously watches this game, I would highly recommend you build freaking Golden Staff as first item, because that would just change your game 360 degrees to try it. So beautiful game here from Alter Ego. No wonder they're a top contender for I would say the top spot to go to EWC, right? Because right now I believe RQ is number 1. I think Alter Ego is number 2. Okay, Rini got MVP was a Hanzo there. Pretty good. 8-1 and 3. Look at the build. Yeah. They built Karun size DHS, and then the fourth item, that's when he built the Golden Staff. I think it's a huge missed opportunity, right? Golden Staff first item, this is what I'll do. Golden Staff first item, right? And then you can go for the Golden Dragon Spear. And the reason why those two items are so good is because Hanzo ultimate timer is so short. You want to move, cover as much range as possible, catch the back line. You notice the biggest there, you see so far, the two things with Summarize. He's very patient with skill 2. That means he relies a lot of it, the catching up to people with his movement, right? Simply just move, right? With ultimate. The Great Golden Spear, the Great Dragon Spear allows you to move, do exactly that. And because it's patient with skill 2, after he lands it, the passive from Golden Staff is going to be proven to be useful. That's why those two items are core. And on top of it, the crit chance from the Great Dragon Spear is going to be converted to attack speed, which is basically what Corrosion Size offer. The reason why Corrosion Size is also a core item because it gives you more attack speed and also, most importantly, movement speed, and everything contributes towards how fast you move with Hanzo's ultimate, right? So the build is okay. DHS is overall decent if the enemy team is really tanky, and in MPL in general, they're pretty tanky. But in this particular comp, I would say, DHS is also good because they have Hilda and then Kufra. I think if you're that far ahead and if your main target is going to be the Joy, Arathel, and Aurora in the back, Blade of Despair also works. You know, DHS for sure is not a core item. I can promise you on Hanzo, DHS is just a optional item at best, all right, optional. Because they're, again, the number one downside for Hanzo, his shadow is so squishy. In MPL, you will notice they one-shot your shadow. That's why like Blade of Despair is so useful, because if you get someone at under 50%, your damage is increased by so much. It's almost like a guaranteed Sky Piercer. And better, because it gives you so much more damage. So that's the item I would have built instead in this game. However, I think this is probably the best Hanzo game I can find in MPL. Overall, I'll give it like 7 out of 10 rating. Congratulations for Outer Ego Rennie for pulling off getting a great Hanzo game in MPL. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, guys, smash like and share it with your friend. Make sure to subscribe. Let's get to 500,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.